What's up, Corinth teens and Corinth teens families? Welcome to an episode of Family Convos, a post-youth group family discussion where you guys gather and talk about connection to Christ. Thanks for tuning in. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Family Convos. I hope that you are doing so well, and I'm excited to spend some time with you today as you begin to have a conversation, a discussion with your family tonight. Now, this is always a post-youth group discussion, and so here's what we're doing at youth group right now. We're in a series called Words, and the whole idea of this series is that the words that come out of our mouth reveal a lot about what's inside of our hearts. And so there are some things that just don't make sense coming out of the mouth of a Christian. Last week we talked about gossip, and tonight we talked about deceit, lying. The truth is, lying does not make sense coming out of the mouth of a Christian. And here's the main reason why. Because God hates lying. That's what we find in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 22 says that lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. In Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16, we are told that there are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him. The second one on the list, right there in verse 17, is a lying tongue. God hates untruth. God hates lying. God hates deceit. Why does he hate it so much? Well, the truth is he hates it so much because it's not who he is, but it is the very language of the kingdom that opposes him. Satan's kingdom is full of deceit. Jesus speaks of this in John chapter 8. And in John chapter 8, Jesus is teaching, and he talks about this idea of truth and untruth, and he begins to say right there in John chapter 8, verse 44, Satan was a murderer from the beginning, and he does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks out of his own character, for he is a liar and the father of lies. One of the reasons that God hates deceit so much is because Satan is the father of deceit. And so anytime we are untruthful, anytime we deceive, anytime that we lie, anytime that dishonesty comes out of our mouth, we are actually aligning ourselves with character that looks more like the devil than it does like Christ. But there is good news. And the good news is that John chapter 8 also has this verse where Jesus says, if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So the question is, what is the truth? Well, not what, but who? Who is the truth? Because John chapter 14, verse 6, Jesus claims about himself, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Truth is not some sort of list of statistics. It's not little known facts. It is not something that's relative to you and to me. It is a person. And his name is Jesus. And so, by definition, the Father of truth is God. And the truth can set you free. And so we need to be truthful with the things that come out of our mouths. And so in order to do that, we have to talk about first, why do we lie? I think there are 2 reasons that we lie. Number 1, the reason that we lie is to protect ourselves from consequences. When I was a kid, I didn't like scalloped potatoes. And so I would sit down at the dinner table, and this one time I decided I'm going to be sneaky and tear up all my scalloped potatoes and throughout the meal throw them on the floor underneath the dining room table. At the end of the meal, I got away with it, but I looked down, saw the scalloped potatoes, and saw my opportunity to avoid a consequence by saying, "Mom, look what Scott did to his scalloped potatoes." Scott was my little brother. He also didn't like scalloped potatoes. Why did I lie? To protect myself from the consequence of my actions. That's one of the reasons that we lie. And I just need to remind you and encourage you that the consequences that you face for something that you did are way less harmful than the untruth, the lies, and the deceit that you are currently spreading to avoid consequence. So, stop lying to protect yourself. Another reason that we lie, the second reason, is to elevate ourselves. So we say untruths or we exaggerate stories in order to make ourselves look good because we desire to be liked. My best friend Fox during college was able to come home to San Antonio with me on spring break, and I took him around San Antonio, showed him all the cool spots, and we went to this spot called the Pearl, which is close to downtown San Antonio, and it has one of my favorite coffee shops of all time. We started to walk around this area, and he was talking about how cool it was, how pretty it was, how awesome it was. And I was like, pumped up my ego because he was talking about something that I loved and he loved it. And so we sat down at the coffee shop and I said it. I said, this would be the place that I would go to in high school all of the time and have coffee with my friends. But Fox called me out. Luke, you didn't like coffee until you got to college. Oof. Yep. Fox, for some reason, I just lied to you, because I wanted to make myself look cool. And the reason that we lie is in order to elevate ourselves, to feel included. And I just need to remind you that your desire to be liked needs to be surrendered at the feet of Jesus. Those are the reasons that we lie. But they're silly reasons. Because at the feet of Jesus, we find grace that covers our actions, and so we don't need to cover them up with lies. And at the feet of Jesus, we find a God who not only loves us, but likes us. And we don't have to try to pretend to be someone that we're not. Deceit, lying, untruth is the language of Satan's kingdom. Truth, honesty, is the language of God's kingdom. Which one are you going to align yourself with? I want to facilitate some discussion for you guys now. Just a few moments ago, I explained two reasons why many of us lie. The reason number one is to protect ourselves, and reason number two is to elevate ourselves. So the question is this: do you lie most often to protect yourself or to elevate yourself? Question number two is this: what are some practical things you can do to avoid speaking untruth and pursue speaking truth? Question number three: how can we pray for each other as a family and a community of believers as we begin to pursue truth that actually sets us free, rather than lies which hold us in bondage? I hope that this conversation, this discussion was helpful for all of you tonight. I hope that your family is experiencing community and conversation like it never has before. And I hope that you guys all go to sleep with a smile on your face tonight, and that you'll join us not next Wednesday because we have a fall break bonfire and no family convos that night, but the Wednesday after that, where we finish our series on words talking about insults. Until next time, peace and grace. Have a great night.